Hello and welcome, YouTube community. Meet Jeremy here, wishing you all peace and prosperity. Today's upload marks my third episode, and I will continue to thoroughly research to bring many more years to come of videos and uploads. Before I begin to talk about today's video's topic, I would like to address the fact that YouTube was founded February 14th, 2005. One day later, my mother passed away from a lifetime of sickness, pain, and poor health. God giveth and God taketh away. 16 years of struggle, but today I'm one resilient individual. Everything happens for a reason. And at that, let's dive right into the market. All data reports were strong this week. Jobless weekly claims reduced significantly. U.S. home building surged to nearly a 15-year high in March. Retail sales data also came in booming. People were buying, spending. U.S. Treasury yields were low as gold rose to a 7-week high. Oil was lower yesterday. U.S. crude futures were down 28 cents to $63.18 a barrel. With oil on the mind, let's unlock a company and an idea that is in direct competition with petroleum. So Origin Materials, that's who we'll be talking about today, based out of West Sacramento, California, is the world's leading carbon negative materials company. It's always the world's leading, but this one is truly is a very, very unique. The ticker right now for it is Artius Acquisition. That's ARTIUS Acquisition. The ticker is AACQ. It's a SPAC. But if you heard the founder and the two co-CEOs talking about why they took the SPAC route on Bazanga the other day, you can see why. There's a certain reason for it, and there's always a certain reason for it. And the companies that don't just sound like other ones doing it for that reason, they have their own reason. It's great. So it was founded in 2008 by chemical engineering students at the University of California, Davis. John Bissell, co-founder and co-CEO, was one of those students. That same year, he received the People, Prosperity, and the Planet Award from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Hooked him up with a highly recognizable and distinguished award. I mean, that's incredible. That was incredible. I just found out today. 6 years later, he was showcased in Forbes 30 under 30 list in the energy industry category. Definitely a dream of mine. I've got a couple years left. 30 under 30. Once again, incredible to hear. So John Bissell, co-founder and the co-CEO. Incredible man. Extremely wise. Knows the vision he has with this company. Knows what he wants to do. It's about climate change. It's about not just adding more carbon to the air, but trying to capture as much as possible, potentially in the process of making things that enhance carbon levels. They emit carbon. So he's killing like two birds with one stone, if you will. So what is Origin Materials, like I was just talking about, do that separates them from the rest? A true disruptor. They have developed a platform that turns the carbon found in biomass into useful materials while also capturing the carbon in the process. That's the 2-for-1 deal. Now, this is not just the concept. It is proven. And in 2016, Nestle Waters and Danone formed an alliance with Origin to commercialize the platform's first product, plant-based PET plastic, with a low carbon footprint. Pepsi, but the important part was the plant-based PET. Okay, it's normally petroleum-based. PepsiCo joined the natural bottle alliance in 2018. Further joining the group. Origin's first factory plant is expected to be operational in 2022, with the second full-scale commercial plant expected to be operational by 2025. Now they've had their if you will testers that have already been developed and proven through Dannon and Nestle. So they've been able to produce those. The markets they're going after are the clothing, textiles, plastics. These aren't just ones they're going after. These are just a couple of many. Plastics, packaging, car parts, tires, carpeting, and toys. Now, the science behind it all, it's amazing. Essentially, the carbon is okay. It starts in the air. That's how they're a lot of this information can just be found on their website, which is amazing too. This is their information. They just the first law, basic law of physics, principle. First law of principle. They capture the air, or they capture the carbon, because plants and trees capture carbon. So they can use the waste of lumber, the waste of wood products, that's the biomass involved, wood residue, all these plants, all that material, if you will, contains carbon. It also contains cellulose, which is, I believe, to me, an important building block of life. So they derive that cellulose from those products, and then they're able to convert that into what they need to use. They say it's still recyclable, still even reusable at this point. Okay, safer than normal PETs, the traditional PETs. It's going to be done at a fraction of the cost, and it's going along with these companies and that want to be on this decarbonization goal. We need it for climate change. We cannot keep emitting all these carbon into the atmosphere. It is a joke. So what they essentially do is, when they convert that cellulose back over, they have I'm going to try to bring it up if I can. I don't even know if it's... Maybe I'll make a video on it, a new video on it here in a minute or so, to better talk about the science behind it, because that's what Dannon and Nestle did, and that's why PepsiCo is so excited about it as well. The true chemistry and science behind it, it's amazing. I just told the basics of it, but they have four different, if you will, substances, chemicals, that they're able to then make into products. So they take, the carbon, the cellulose from those and when I said wood residue, they also are talking about, you could use old cardboard. Think about all the cardboard we waste. It's a freaking shame. I'm thinking about, like Benzenga was just saying the other day, I'm thinking about, Chris and Mitch, I was thinking about doing the same thing they want to do. Let's just ship them a bunch of cardboard. Their goal and their vision and the path there is so promising that, heck yeah, I'd love to be a part of it. Let's just give them some cardboard. We all throw cardboard away every day. It's such a shame. We don't need to. They could use it. And they just have all that built. So looking forward, they're not going to have a demand issue at all. There's going to be so much demand for decarbonization efforts. And not just decarbonization efforts, it's capturing the carbon. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. So, I wanted to end with the ticker AACQ, or Ardius Acquisition. It's at $10 right now. This is Saturday, market's not open, but Monday morning you can get that thing at $10, which is the NAV. It was touching 996, 990 potentially, I think, on yesterday. Either 990 or 996, but either way, whatever. The way I look at it is I'm just going to say this, is very important, I think, to note, is the fact that they're not profitable. They're not getting any revenue. And that's not really going to... Their first plants being operational in 2022, they're not going to gain any revenue with that until later in 2022, maybe in 2023. I think I heard 2023. And then 2025 is the same scenario. So they're not going to catch any of that revenue until 2026. So this is a long-term thing. Plus, my point is, after they merge, it's going to go down. It should truly go down. It has a lot of value to it, but it's a growth. They have a lot of things still have to happen, I believe. They got to get more recognition in the public market, because it's a science that people can't truly embrace it because they can't truly understand it. But if you're any bit wise at all, I once again suggest going to originmaterials.com and looking up the better materials start with better carbon section. It's amazing. It's got everything you need. Their game plan, why it's so fitting for the world, perfect. We waste so much plastic every year, and it's all petroleum-based plastic. It's just so we could go down a much better path. And in 2008, when those I call them kids because they probably were kids at the time. And they were kids at the time. They were 19. But they've come a long way. They made a lot. They did it. The idea. I'm so glad they did it. So, congrats to John Bissell and Rich Riley too. He's also a co-CEO. He was kind of just an early advisor, an early investor. You might have seen his interview with TD Ameritrade. He gets it, Early executive at Yahoo. He helped he was, what was it called again? An early company that Yahoo had bought, but he was an executive at Yahoo for all those years, and among many other things. Extremely wise. Got his degrees at Wharton. Extremely wise. So they got a good team over there. They got an extremely good team over there. And they have the right support. They just don't have a lot of it, and I want them to have more support. That's not on the price for me. It's just public embracement, private embracement. I want everyone to embrace their idea. This is a great idea. I knew about them when they first dropped their, because anytime it's the first pure, publicly traded move in a clean energy or clean climate, anything like that, it's exciting to me because it's these ideas that should have been invented and come up with a while. Well, they were, so they're just not getting, I guess, taking their time to get implemented. But like I said, the public ought to embrace it, and they should be embracing it. The majority has to embrace it. Once the majority embraces it, we'll be set. I'm excited for that. But yeah, it was an interesting week for markets. Everything, that data was good. A lot of things were down from my end, but it's like just great buying opportunities. Rocket Lab. That's all there is to say about it. They're taking that Neutron up to deploy those satellites for Black Sky, which is another interesting company, but they're taking those satellites up for Black Sky, and they're going to try to reuse the Neutron. They're going to try to re-land the Neutron through parachute, land it in the ocean. I hope them the best. I know soon they'll be trying landing it in the helicopter, which is just an engineering and physics. It's got to be constraining. It's got to be hard to figure that all out, to time it all right. A lot of things got to get right too with that. But Rocket Lab, Peter Beck, still super promising. See, if you notice something, a trend with me is I really don't like the company unless it's got a damn good, I hate to swear, but a damn good CEO.
Accent chat, please. I fucked that one up.
It has to be that
okay.
fox. It has to be a good CEO. It has to be a solid CEO. It has to stand behind the product, not just in a let's make money type of way, but like believe in the product even if it didn't make money, because he's passionate about the product. That's why I love music so much too. With Paul Travers, he loves his product.
This is why you shouldn't have tracks that you finish.
It's going to be a truly interesting
Like you get to them and it's like,
look at next week.
When you rush is when you fuck up.
I just don't. It's not that I'm unsure next week, but I just think that like Doggy Coin, Dogecoin, whatever the heck it was, went all up, and the market's confused. That's all I can say about it. I'm not freaking confused. You know, like I said, I'm not unsure. I'm just like, there's this real sense of just everybody's so confused. All these new investors are confused. Get out there, man. Get out. Stick to working. Just stick to whatever you were doing before. Just leave us alone. Leave the investing world alone. Because this whole, I hate the stop loss traders. I just hate setting a stop. I don't set a stop loss. You buy when it drops. You just buy and buy and buy and buy. And you don't sell until you're like 10x, 25x. You don't get into things unless there's opportunities. And when they go down, you just keep buying them. You don't be fearful of the market. Show the market that you could put fear into it by just doing what's best. Believing in your initial investment and not getting caught up in all of the hoopla and all the extraness afterwards. You know, there was a reason why pretty much everything I've talked about has had extremely massive runs in a day based off of amazingly exciting, innovating, disrupting news to sectors, to markets, to everything. It's just like, it's game changing. It's truly game changing. You know, and I guess that's why I can see why Beyond Me gets so much attention, but it's just not me. I wish it was me though, because Beyond Me probably is going to be tattoo chef, and jammer here, financial education, wise dude. Knows the market well, so I appreciate him in the market. Be cool if he covered space. Space news. I don't see why he's not talk about space at all. Space is a massive market, and it's gonna grow crazy in the next decade. Momentous is still a 25x opportunity, and it's gonna be like that for a long time.
I think I might have an idea.
So it's, they got another passing in the Vigoride, their Vigoride propulsion technology of, they got testing done out of the, I believe it is the FAA, I mean. So yeah, expect some good news from them. Expect good news from Rocket Lab here in the next month. Definitely expect more good news from Origin Materials. They just had to deal with asphalt, creating a low carbon, capture carbon, not low carbon, capture carbon, or carbon capturing asphalt. Yeah.
Stonehenge.
That's huge.
I was
Because
gonna put
asphalt's a
that on my
problem.
memory sticks for
So
today.
that
I listened
all
to it, I
around
hated it.
game changer. Hopefully more embrace that.
So, I don't know where that leaves us.
And yeah. I don't know where, yeah, that's very true, Fox. I don't know where that leads
Maybe we
us.
should play compromise, even though it's
I do want to just say I'm truly blessed today. I was truly blessed yesterday. Truly blessed every day. YouTube's been an incredible outlet because without YouTube, I wouldn't have learned as much as I did about you, Elon Musk. I wouldn't have learned as much about anything from like anyone who graduated from Stanford or anything like that because there was this early 2000s we were just starting to lose information. Like YouTube has its blessings, totally. Because if you can find the right stuff, if you know what to look for on YouTube, you find the right stuff on YouTube. If you're going on there to just get dumb, you can get dumb real quick. But if you're on there to try to potentially better yourself, I mean it's been an incredible thing for me because I've bettered myself. I've thought about certain alleys, certain backgrounds, certain the reason why people are who they are and who they, you know. And yeah, you go to school, you could pay a lot of money, but you could also just invest in your time and read and watch and read, especially just read, really. I do want to make maybe a book recommendation. Richest Man in Babylon still is the most important book I've read to this day in my life because you gotta save 10% at least. You gotta make sure for every
I don't have Satisfied on here. Which
every
VIP?
dollar you
Satisfied
make
VIP?
is yours.
I don't remember that.
Everything that you make, part of yours is yours to keep.
I don't know.
I messed up that quote, but the quote is, for everything you make, there's a part of it that you should keep. Don't spend it, you should keep it. And that's traditionally compound interest. You just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over and over again for many years.
I'm not sure.
And that's how you become successful. You have to be a good saver. But The Richest Man in Babylon, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just read The Richest Man in Babylon. The Babylon Days or something to mimic. Yeah, that's where the loans came into play. That's where the people who knew what to do with money took it there. And the people who didn't know what to do with money struggled. The divide was ever so great. And I see that in America today. If you can go out there and you can get that information and you can earn and you can save and you can educate yourself, you'll be on the right path. You'll get there eventually. See, the middle class is wiped out. It's harder, no doubt, to get through the middle class, to get through the poor, the small poverty, to get through it all. It's hard. Don't get me wrong, but it's still possible. So, and upper, higher, whatever, success and money, it's possible for anybody, but you have to educate yourself. Because you can easily just waste your time putting a bunch of useless information into your brain. I tend to point to things that change the world for the better of my child's future and the better of many generations after me, because this world is amazing. The earth is amazing, but our inhabitants a lot of times ruin it. We are here ruining it, and there's definitely some people trying to make it a little better. And in the end, there's wealth to be made, not just by gaining education, but by financially being more successful. It's gonna be wise when they see how cost effective all these things are, and they see how game changing everything is. It's over with, dog. ESG narrative and the zero carbon emission narrative and all that. It's all huge. And like I said, God giveth and God taketh away. I'm blessed for the things I have in my life, and I easily can accept and recognize how quickly things can go. But a lot of times you can get something right back, or you get something, and if you're not grateful for it, you can lose something. So you gotta have that balance. Once again, law of attraction could tell you that too. You have to be grateful for. If you want more in life, you have to be grateful for what you have. If you're not grateful for what you have, the universe is gonna most likely accept that as, why should we give this individual, this entity, this particle anymore? Keep him where he's at. Keep him or her, that entity, where they're at. So you gotta show your gratitude. I miss my boy. He played soccer the other day. I'm so excited for him. But nothing about any personal stuff. It was his first soccer. I was just so excited. Life's exciting. Work hard. But not just work hard. If you're a wise investor, you're not going to give up on the market. You're going to save. You're going to earn by working hard. And you're going to save. And you're going to make the right moves at the right time. For long term plays. Because in 10 years, a lot of these people that are in the market today they're not gonna be in the market. They're not gonna care. So it's an interesting time, because if you have like I talked about earlier, if you have that resiliency, you're not gonna give up in something that you believe in so much. You aren't. Just because a couple people might be saying something doesn't mean nothing. Remember why you made that first investment is all I have to say. Because that's what I never forget about. And every time you remake another, like people talk about this all the time. Every time you make that, you think about that initial investment, and if you make that investment again in the same move, you're not gonna want to get rid of it, because you keep giving yourself that belief that it's the right move. It's proven. So. Meet Jeremy here, though. If you guys like the video, like it, thumbs up, whatever, subscribe. Hopefully we get somewhere with that. I'd love to spend more time with my son from home. I work way too much. Work is great. Elon puts 80 hours to 100 hours a week, but he also owns his companies. He's CEO of these companies, so it's like I'd be putting that time into these companies. But instead I'm putting time into companies aren't mine, so I'm trying to change the ideology and the principles of my life. And hopefully others. I see how much better it is for people working from home, and like all the advantages that people are getting, and how much more work is getting done. I'd love to see that. I wish more people would look into that, but who knows. So at that, I'm probably gonna end it. I gotta go to work. You're gonna just love the day. You're gonna be blessed. Once again, like, subscribe, share, whatever. See what you guys want to do. I'm blessed for all you for watching. It's huge. If anybody comes back again, double huge. God bless all you. I'm gonna end this here, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.